The punishment of thy iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away into captivity.
Right, he will no longer carry thee away into captivity, because ultimately, when we went into captivity, who was behind it to fulfill his will? The Heavenly Father.
Right.
You know what I mean? When you really check it out. But the Father's going to be with us rising up and no longer having to go into captivity, but in captivating those that put us in captivity. Get me that in Isaiah 14, verse 1. And also give me Revelations 13 chapter. So the same way the Lord was with us going into captivity because of our disobedience against the law, the Lord is going to be with us when we put these nations into captivity. So get me Isaiah 14:1.
Isaiah 14:1. For the Lord Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel.
See what the Lord has done, what the Lord has been doing, right? He's been letting these nations have his way with us. Just so he can flip the script later on so that we can have our way with them.
Right.
You see, because it was already fulfilled in the blessing of Jacob, that when you read the blessing of Jacob, it says that all of his brethren shall serve him. So in order for the brethren, in other words, the other nations, to serve Jacob, they would have to be slaves of the nations for this to happen. Go on, bro.
And set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them.
Yeah.
And they shall cleave to the house of Jacob.
And that's talking about those Israelites. Like, for example, when you read about the peaceable multitude, let's read that. Hold that. Read the peaceable multitude. That's what the strangers is talking about. Because Israelites will say, well, that's talking about the other nations. No, that's not talking about that. That's talking about the peaceable multitude. Let's read that.
What's the peaceable multitude?
Let me see. Revelation 7. Go to Revelation 7, brother.
After this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude,
yes,
which no man could number,
right,
of all nations and kindreds.
That's the one, out of all nations and kindreds. So now we're gonna go back to what was we in Isaiah 14, where it talks about the Gentiles shall cleave unto Jacob. That's what that's going into.
Isaiah 14. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel,
yeah,
and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them.
And the strangers shall be joined with them. The strangers is talking about the other great multitude that came out of every nation, which are nothing but Israelites. Go on.
And they shall cleave to the house of Jacob.
And they shall cleave unto the house of Jacob. In other words, they're going to cleave unto those that have the complete truth. Okay? And that's kind of happening right now, because we got brothers that look like the other nations, and they coming in, and they accepting and believing in the word. You know, we got brothers from East Africa, we got brothers from Albania and the likes, we got brothers from Turkey, we got brothers from West Africa, we got brothers coming from all South Africa that's setting up camp. So the peaceable multitude is already kind of in the truth, you know. Go on, brother.
And the people shall take them and bring them to their place.
Yeah.
And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord.
Right.
For servants and handmaids.
Yeah, so we're going to possess the other nations, because the Lord, that's the Lord's intent for all of the brethren of Jacob to serve him. That was always his intent. Yeah, it was because of, you could say retribution or vengeance. You could say that, and you're correct if you put that in it. But the main thing that you would be furthermore correct or fully correct on is the intent of the Lord's will, because that was the blessing of Jacob, to have all of the nations subdue themselves under him. You know? Go on, brother.
And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were.
Yeah, so we're going to encaptivate those that put us into captivity. We're going to have our way with them, the way they had our way with us. And even the guy up there that came up, you know, he better hope he's an Israelite too. You know? Go on, bro.
And they shall rule over their oppressors.
And they shall rule over their oppressors. The current oppressor right now is the Edomites. They're the current oppressors, so we're going to rule over them. That's why Queen and other powerful individuals, they have what you call underground bunkers, because they're going to survive, which they're going to. They're going to survive the nuclear holocaust, just so they can be put into captivity. Let's get that in get that in what is it? How does it go, man? It says something.
It's Isaiah 24, that they shall be in a pit, and is Psalms 140.
Get those two scriptures.
149 as well. Isaiah 24.
Babako Shah, come.
Alright, this is Isaiah 24 and 21.
Yeah.
And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord Yahweh shall punish the host of the high ones that are on high.
The ones that are on high. So that don't just include the Edomites, that also includes the high ones of the Chinese, the Moabites, the higher ups of the Ishmaelites, the so-called Arabs, the higher ups of the indigenous dark people in Africa, which are the Hamites. And the list goes on. The higher ones of Elam, the so-called East Indians, they're gonna have their nobles there.
Right.
And they're gonna be set up to be as slaves.
Right.
Go on, brother.
And the kings of the earth upon the earth.
And the kings upon the earth. See, it says the kings of the earth. It even says that in Isaiah the 60th chapter, how you're gonna have kings and queens are gonna be like nursing mothers. You see, so the top tier of the nations are gonna serve the nation of Israel. Go on, brother.
And they shall be gathered together as prisoners are gathered in the pit.
Yeah, and they're gonna be gathered together. And this is mainly talking about Esau, because their habitation is gonna be the pits. The other nations, they're gonna have their little fit. They're gonna have theirs. It's not gonna be so hard for them, but the Edomites is gonna be real rough and hard for them, man. All right, it's gonna be terrible for them. All you gotta do is read about Lazarus and the rich man. Go on, brother.
Yeah.
And shall be shut up in prison after many days that shall they be visited.
Yeah, so that's where the nobles are going. So yeah, they're living good, and they call the shots.
Yeah.
They're the baller shot callers, but that's only for a temporary moment in time, baby boy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And basically, the ones that are at the meek right now, that are called blacks, called Latinos, Native Americans, and the likes, they're going to be above and beyond calling the shots for eternity. Versus them that are calling the shots for a moment.
Yeah.
If I can just make a little point relating to what you're saying. I remember Saddam Hussein when Tony Blair said that he's got
weapons of mass destruction.
They searched him out. He was on the run as a fugitive, and he was saying that Britain was saying that he's oppressing his own people. He's a tyrant. And I remember when he was on the run, they made sure it was on mainstream media. And when
I was a kid at the time, man. I was entering into my teen years.
And I was in Christianity, and I remember watching it, following it. Even though I was in Christianity, I wasn't totally bugged out. I was about justice. But the point is that when they found him, and they humiliated him and made him look like a real, like he was so. They demonized him.
So wicked. I remember that too.
Yeah,
and just like he was just a straight up evil bastard.
And I just put two and two together in my mind, and I was saying, boy, I know that's going to happen to Tony Blair. I knew that was going to happen. And all these, as it mentions there, they're going to try and hide in the bunkers. But little did I know, it's going to be we're the ones that are going to be searching for them, potentially the elect and the members of spiritual power, going to dig them out. Same way how they done with Tony Blair. Tony Blair done to Saddam Hussein and Osama bin Laden.
They found his ass hiding under the ground.
Same thing, exactly the same thing is going to come up on their own head.
I think they did a document. Oh man, I think it was either a news or a documentary or something like that.
I remember.
Yeah,
they kept on showing it over, put it on the news overnight, and Barack Obama and what's the woman named the Hillary? Yeah, Hillary Clinton. They was watching it. They made sure they put it on the news.
Yeah.
Front seats and everything. Yeah. And when they found him, they said he was hiding in a discluded area in a house and everything.
Jesus, brother, you're bringing me back, man.
Yeah, and I remember I was following it. I was in Christianity. I remember, man. But I was really onto it, but little did I know. I knew that it's going to happen to them. Justice, but little did I know I might have a hand in this thing this time around. Lord willing. Right.
Because all around, man, they got bunkers galore. They got bunkers in America. They got bunkers here. Right. They even got bunkers that they didn't even use during the Cold War. So they're gonna use them bunkers.
Yeah.
You understand?
And they put that Navy SEAL. They made sure they put him on the media. The guy who shot. Someone be the Navy SEAL, and I was always into like a little bit of army stuff, and them Navy SEALs, they're the top men, and they glorified him, gave him his glory and everything. He wrote his book, but he's gonna be
in them bunkers,
right? A fugitive.
Exactly. So that's really where they're gonna wind up. That's where eventually they're gonna find themselves in. They're gonna find themselves trying to survive and trying to escape And the reason why they want to escape and get into them underground bunkers because they believe that they can then pretty much destroy as much people as they can according to the Georgia Guidestones, which they're going to do that because those missiles are going to do that job. So they're going to now think, okay, now that that's said and done, we can come out of the bunkers and reestablish again our New World Order. That's really what they want to do. And they're right to a certain degree when they say New World Order, because the true New World Order is going to be us governing the earth. Because they like to talk about this New World Order. What they don't really realize, what they're not realizing is they're actually conjuring up the actual New World Order, which is going to be us governing the earth. Spearheaded by the Messiah, Yahushua. Go on.
On this point that we're talking about, the elites hiding in the underground in their bunkers, hoping to avoid the nuclear fire. Hoping to avoid the nuclear fire. That's why they always use the symbol of the phoenix, because the phoenix is what rises from the flames.
From the ashes, yeah.
So like back in 2012, I remember when they were doing the, what is it called, the Olympic Games here. The symbol of the phoenix was very prominent in that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So that shows their intention, thinking that they're going to be able to rise up
out of the fire.
Yeah. Don't matter what happens to them, they'll always rise again.
They'll always rise up. Yeah. So, they're going to rise back out of there just so they can conform to a new way of life. And the new way of life is that they're going to be slaves. And it's funny because the Rothschilds, their real name, as the Apostle Gabar used to push, years ago, but I remember, their original name is the Bauer family. Now the word Bauer, as he broke it down, means peasant. So they're going to resort to being peasants again. You see that? So the Most High knows what the hell he's doing, man. And it just reminds me of the scriptures where it says, what is it, man? The scripture says how it was seen that servants were on horses and the princes were sitting in low places.
Yeah.
That's exactly what's happening right now.
Yeah.
So you have the Bauer family, which means the peasants sitting on horses and the princes sitting in low places. Prophecy, baby boy, prophecy.
Yeah.
You don't get no more prophecy than that.
Yeah.
So that's how you know that the Lord.
That's a strong one. That one. It's very strong. But yeah. That I'm gonna let it kind of hang. All right.
Yeah, if you could put that one on too, brother. Yeah, put it in my face. I'm gonna try to adapt to it.
No. This is I put it on low. I didn't put it because it's not for your face because these are strong lights, LED lights.
All right.
But it's all right. Wait, if I do that,
you can't see anything.
That's a bit too strong. You know what I mean?
That's actually all right, you know.
But I don't want to. Is that all right? You sure?
What you could do, just don't put it in my face like that, but put it like around here.
Yeah. No, I've dimmed it. I've dimmed it now.
Okay.
I know.
That's bright, man. That's having me seeing twos.
All right, let's continue.
Was it Isaiah 24?
Yeah.
Isaiah 24. Behold, the Lord Yahweh maketh the earth empty, and maketh it waste, and turneth it upside down, and scattereth abroad the inhabitants thereof. And it shall be as with the people, so with the priests.
And that's gonna happen when those missiles are shut off. It's gonna be a waste, and then that's when the kingdom is gonna be set back up again. The kingdom of heaven is gonna be built from scratch. Go on.
As with the servant, so with his master. As with the maid, so with her mistress. As with the buyer, so with the seller. As with the lender, so with the borrower. As with the taker of usury, so with the giver of usury to him. The land shall be utterly emptied.
But is that the one I wanted where it says where it says they're gonna be trying to, this may be it, but jump down to see what is it, 12. Check 12 out. It's 12 saying. Verse 12 I mean.
12, that's the city is left in desolation, and the gate is smitten with destruction.
What does 13 say?
13, when thus it shall be in the midst of the land, among the people there shall be
14, what does 14 say?
They shall lift up their voice, they shall sing for majesty of the Lord. They shall
16.
From the uttermost part of the earth we have heard songs, even glory to the righteous. But I said, it's not the right one, is it? This is Isaiah 24 and 18. And it shall come to pass that he who fleeth from the noise of the fair shall fall into the pit, and he that cometh out of the midst of the pit shall be taken in the snare.
Right, shall be taken in the snare. So what is that snare? That snare is going to be to their captivity. They're going to be experiencing a different form of life. Because there's people on the earth that haven't even worked a day in their life. Whether you want to believe me or not, doesn't really make a difference. But there are people that's never worked a day in their life. And they are going to be the first servants. Which makes sense because they're the first in the position of power. So they're going to be the first ones to go into captivity. And then the other peasants that comes out of their womb, they're going to have to serve captivity under the Israelites. Prophecy. This is where it's all going. This is what reality is going to turn into real soon. So when you look at Jake is at the bottom, bugged out their mind, docile as hell, churchified, eating chicken, Kentucky Fried Chicken, low pH balance levels, man, they all messed up. But guess what? The Lord is going to glorify Zion, man. We're going to represent beauty. We're going to represent perfection. We're going to represent what it means to be the actual Israelites, man. Like, for example, man, it's like brothers like myself. We like to talk shit about the 2/3. But guess what? We're not going to be talking shit about the 2/3. We're going to be looking like the 2/3. Like, yeah, that's what's up.
Right.
You know? So that's where it's all going to go, man. That's where it's all going, brother.
For the windows from on high are open, and the foundations of the earth do shake.
In other words, the ozone layer is open. Go on.
The earth is utterly broken down. The earth is clean dissolved.
Yeah, right, because of those missiles. Go on.
The earth is moved exceedingly.
Yeah, because it says in the scriptures that the earth shall quake to and fro out of his like a cottage.
That's Isaiah,
out of his cottage.
Isaiah 13 and 14.
Yeah. Go on.
The earth is broken
Like a drunkard.
The earth is utterly broken down. The earth is clean dissolved.
Right, the earth is clean dissolved and the earth is utterly broken down. Go on.
The earth is moved exceedingly. The earth shall thrill to and fro like a drunkard.
Yeah.
And shall be removed like a cottage. And the transgression thereof shall be heavy upon it.
That's what's going to happen. Because of the transgressions are heavy upon it. Sin after sin after sin. When you really understand this society, right? And you tap into the laws of the Bible, you will find that every law in the Bible is being broken every day. So that's what it means that the transgressions is heavy upon it. You see? So this is why, that's another reason why you're going to have a great catastrophe that's going to change this whole earth. Like people talk about, what is it, the flood of Noah, right? The destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah. This destruction that's coming down on this planet is going to be spoken of in history.
It's going to be
into the kingdom of heaven.
It's going to be worse than the flood.
Yeah, it's going to be, yep.
Consider a time such as never was since there was a nation.
Yep.
And then the nuclear destruction is going to be so bad that it's going to shake the very heavens, man.
Yep.
The flood didn't do that.
Nope.
The flood, the scripture said the earth shall be moved, shall reel to and fro.
Yep, because of the impact.
The flood didn't do that.
Yep.
Okay, the flood didn't do that. Okay. It said that it shall be like a lake of fire. Man.
Yep.
You know, a lake is like a never-ending stream of water. A lake, so that's going to be a lake of fire. So that's why I said it shall burn forever and ever.
Yeah.
All right.
Because you're going to have two things. I'm glad you brought that up, brother, because you're going to have two things. The earth is going to shake to and fro like a drunkard, as we just read, and then you're going to have this lake of fire. So this is why Daniel said what he said. We're going to enter into a time since there was a nation. You understand? So, man, it's going to be heavy out here. Go on, brother.
And the transgression thereof shall be heavy upon it.
Yeah.
And it shall fall and not rise again.
And it shall fall and shall not rise again. In other words, the Lord is going to take this kingdom by the root. When you take any plant by the root, that plant never grows back again. You see? So that's where it's all going, man. That's just where it's all going. Esau's going to continue to make these mistakes, make these moves to rise up against Jacob, to do whatever he got to do to shut this internet down. And all we're doing is getting happier and happier. Right. Because all he's doing is just following in line where we want him to go. Right. That's what he's doing. Go on, brother. But see, the thing with me is this, right? I'm going to be honest. And most of you brothers are like this too. But what pisses me off, right? What makes me miserable as hell is when I don't see nothing going on.
I can't.
That's what pisses me off, man. That's what puts me in that depressed state. But when I see things happen, man, like the uproars of the people, everything that's written in this book, when I see that, I feel elevated, I feel invigorated, I feel alive again. You know, I don't feel that. I don't have no reason to be in depressed mode.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Like in the scriptures, it say that we should comfort one another.
Yeah, with these words.
Like other people of this world that are on the outskirts of this truth, that are not in this truth, they've received their consolation, their comfort.
Yes.
They've received their happiness, their joy. Their joy is in this world.
Yep.
You see, our comfort is within this.
Yeah.
This is our joy.
Yeah.
This is our happiness. So when we start seeing desolation upon desolation, destruction after destruction, that's our joy.
Yeah.
That's our happiness. And the scriptures tell you something that when Yahweh Shai appears, it will be to our joy or something like that.
Yeah. And it says,
the scripture there goes, it should be to our joy or something.
and there's a scripture where it says, they that love their parents.
Yeah, I think it's in Second
the
Esau'S,
Messiah.
13. Get there. It says, some shall be happy, you appear to them, some shall be happy, some shall be chained, bound, some shall be
That's
sorry.
Daniel's 12, isn't it?
No.
That's that second Esau'S.
13 and
Oh, that's the peaceable multitude.
Strong like that one, you know.
Yeah, 13. Read verse 12 to 13. 12 to 13.
Second Esau'S 13 and 12. Afterward I saw the same man come down from the mountain and call unto him another peaceable multitude.
That's Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai is going to come down from the mountain, which is not an actual mountain, but it's a chariot, a mega-sized super gladiator chariot.
Supersized chariot.
You know what I'm saying? Okay? And he's going to come down from the chariot and he's going to call unto him a peaceable multitude.
And there came much people unto him, whereof some were glad, some were sorry. Some of them were bound, and other some brought of them that were offered.
So read that again.
And there came much people unto him.
So much people are going to be saved, man. Much Israelites are going to make it. Go ahead.
Whereof some were glad,
Some were glad. Some were glad, go ahead.
some were sorry.
Some were sorry, go ahead.
Some of them were bound,
Some of them were bound.
and some brought of them that were offered.
That were offered. Some were brought of them that were offered. Like martyrs, man. That were offered up and sacrificed. Some brothers were sacrificed. Go on.
Then was I sick through great fear, and I awaked and said, Thou hast showed thy servant these wonders from the beginning, and hast counted me worthy, that thou shouldest receive my prayer.
Right, so the point is that I said some were glad. Some were glad, meaning the prophets, man. Brothers like ourselves. We don't know if some of us might be martyrs, but we do take comfort in this gospel.
And even if we are martyrs, we take comfort in that because we know if we have to go before the guillotine, we already know that we're going to be raised back up and we're going to be into them chariots.
Yeah.
And we're going to go before the Heavenly Father and we're going to receive those bodies.
Right.
Like Yahweh Shai. I'm going to let you speak, brother, because you got a precept to read. But I just want to make one quick point on that because Yahweh Shai saw his glory before the cross. So let's say certain brothers see the guillotine.
Right.
Brothers are going to see the glory before the guillotine, man.
Right.
You know?
You know? That's all I wanted to say.
It says some were glad. So there's a scripture that says, we shall appear to your confidence. We shall have confidence when the Lord shall come. Something like that. Go on, read.
It's 1 Thessalonians 4:16. For the Lord himself shall descend from the heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel and with the trump of God. And the dead in Yahweh Shai shall rise first.
That's the one.
Right, the dead in Yahweh Shai shall rise first. Some brothers have passed in this truth, man. They passed away, R.I.P. Alright, they're with Yahweh right now. Yahweh Shai and the angels, the heavenly angels, man. Alright, and they're waiting to be resurrected in the time of Yahweh Shai's second coming.
And even the ones that are guillotined as well.
Okay?
They're going to be a part of that. Go on.
Verse 17. Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air, and so shall we ever be with the Lord.
Yeah, so you're going to have some brothers that are going to be alive and they're going to be delivered. That's why it says in Mark, the 9th chapter, it says, what does it say? It says, you're going to have some still standing here that shall not taste of death until they see the Son of Man coming in his glory. That's the fulfillment of that.
Right, so it said that. Read that again. Sorry. Those that are alive and that remain shall be caught up in the clouds with him.
Yeah.
Those that are alive and remain, meaning we survived the tribulation. Alright? Some brothers, their portion is to go through Jacob's trouble, man. Alright? Go through the anarchy, go through the cannibalism, go through the famine, alright? Go through all of that, man. The wilderness, alright? And then ultimately to see the salvation. Personally, I pray I want that to be my portion, man. I want to go through all that shit. I want to see everything, man. You know what I'm saying? I want the memories, man. I want the memories of all that. But anyway, I said, go read on.
Yeah.
It says 1 Thessalonians 4:17.
Please, just
It's like 4:16. For the Lord himself shall descend from the heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trump of the Most High. And the dead in Yahushua shall rise first. It's like it.
Right, so there's going to be a trump. There's going to be a large trumpet sound, like a ram's horn from the chariot. Then Yahushua shall descend from that chariot, man. Okay.
Verse 17. Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds.
Right.
To meet the Lord in the air, and so shall we ever be with the Lord.
And so shall we ever be with the Lord. Go on.
That's it.
There's more to it.
That's a good idea.
Let's go.
Verse 18. Wherefore comfort one another with these words.
Right, comfort one another with these words. Go ahead.
Yeah, I got a precept to back that up.
Brother.
This is Revelation 21. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth. For the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. And I, John, saw the holy city.
If you want to feel about with it.
That's right.
New Jerusalem come down from the Most High, out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, Behold, the tabernacle of the Most High is with men.
Yeah, because that's some serious testosterone. It said that we shall come down from the chariots as a bride adorned. When you ever see a bride adorned, that's her moment. That's how most women want to get married, man. 'Cause they want to have that one day that spotlight is on them, man. All right, that's supposed to be a woman's happiest day when she gets married. All right, that's the day that she actually gets put on a higher level. She's ascended from womanhood into being an actual wife. All right, the wife of a man. That's a woman. That's part of a woman's fulfillment in her life, man. To be a mother and a wife, man. Any woman that hasn't fulfilled that portion, you're a failure, man. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna be made into a wife. We're actually gonna be honored.
That's right.
All right. Because right now we've been dishonored, man. You walk in the street and see how people walk past you like you were nobody, man. Your own women walk past you like you were nobody. You imagine how that feel? You know what I'm saying? Like you not the prize. We're gonna be the prize, man. We're gonna be the prize, man. The prize is gonna come down from the chariots, adorned like a wife for her husband, man. Meaning we're gonna be shining. We're gonna be shining, okay? We're gonna be looking good. We're gonna be looking on point. We're gonna be fixed up, looking the garments, clothed, the beards, the crowns, because we're gonna receive all brothers are gonna receive the crowns in the chariots, because that feast is gonna be in the chariot when Yahweh it says that a young man told all the rest, gave crowns to each of us, man. So when we come back down from the chariots, we're gonna have crowns on our heads, man. Swords in our hands, according to Psalms 149. It says, let the saints be joyful with a two-edged sword in their hands. So we're actually gonna have swords. We're not gonna have AK-47s, Mac 10s, Desert Eagles, okay, machine guns, artillery. You know what I'm saying? Looking like Rambo and shit coming down from the chariots.
Grenade launchers.
You know what I'm saying? Is that grenade launchers, grenades? No grenades, man. Rocket launchers.
Yeah, you got rocket launchers too, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Fucking daggers and shit.